That seems pretty sick.
You wanting your 1v2ing at the end, it's been absolutely nuts to watch. We've seen a lot of throwers come in here. We've seen Barry and some other guys as well. We saw Tick for the squishy side. We've seen Mr. P. I think it just kind of depends. I think this one's a little more tanky of a map compared to maybe the sharpshooters that you all are used to seeing on Knockout.
Yeah, I mean, look at the structure of the map, right? We've seen a lot of the same brawlers here. So, like, you know, Mr. P starting to make his comeback on maps like this, because when he gets empowered, if he loses teammates, amount of time not taking damages is great, because obviously he is short range. He needs to close the gap a little bit. And then a gadget that refunds the health that he loses over a window, also very, very powerful in a pinch. Already Sans looking to try and trade with Fade somewhat. And STMN want to play around this berry healing as much as humanly possible. There are a lot of briefcases flying, excuse me.
Tribe already encroaching on this STMN side. Sometimes we've seen this map play out a little passively at the start, especially considering there's some longer range options, but as Livy's just getting up in the face, I believe he's already pushed that brawler to rank 30 as well, so he's experienced with it. They're already going to pick up a takedown though. Little trade on either end. Mo goes down, who's been a popular selection this weekend, and the El Primo for the other end, I think, is a big pickup for STMN.
Nice gadget used there by Lukey to knock Livy back for a moment. Sans, though, got picked off, a little isolated off to the side. Tyrant tries to create a pick opportunity there with the walking cane, but doesn't quite connect it. There's still healing for Bobby, at least. Healthy as the El Primo is, there's a lot of poke to be taking here, and Toast being a nuisance on the Mr. P playing their right-hand side. Tribe got to be feeling good about this with a player advantage. They are not quite as individually strong as STMN's brawlers, but they are starting to take the map.
They've still got Kenji as well, so they're going to be able to combat the El Primo face-to-face if necessary. And the bigger Mr. P gets, the bigger the Porters get in addition to it. Tribe pinning STMN against this back wall. There's nowhere to move. Fog moving in. Heals dished out, but it's not enough here. Bobby does not have the range to keep up with this, and is Livy just toying with him. A dive in from Bobby, though. This could be perfect timing. A takedown and more heals from Lukey. STMN just made this interesting.
Hypercharge head first comes out here, but that will be dealt with. Will, of course, leave a couple of those mines in its wake, but Toast gets picked off, getting close towards the edge of the map. That's not the brawler you want to be losing at this point. Those Porters are so big. Here we go. It's about to get messy in the middle of the map. Bobby diving in 50k points of health, by the way. Just disgusting. But Tyrant will be able to avoid the El Primo and stay alive.
The numbers advantage held up just long enough, but you can see why these teams are picking El Primo. The diving mechanic also gets you out of that fog rather quickly, and upon hitting the enemy, especially if you're going for the fire as well with that star power choice, it does a little trickling damage. As Livy, though, running for the hills here early, left-hand side. Mo goes down once again. Mo's got to be a star player for these guys if they want a chance.
Tyrant obviously hasn't died yet, so right now is in the lead in terms of that bounty, but it applies to the entire set, not just a single game or round. So bear that in mind. Both teams losing players early. Both Mr. P's, though, are still standing, so this poke damage is going to come in thick and fast. Fade tries to use the Dimensional Daughter. I don't know, find an off angle, maybe. Has that super ready, flashing it constantly, threatening a dive.
Corey just holding the distance as well. A hypercharged super would certainly help the cause. Kenji getting plenty of value. The X factor coming in strong from that super.
Sans trying to do much the same. Push up and deal with Zuline. Get the Mr. P off the table here. Sans is healthy though. 3 power-ups for STMN right now. But as Livy runs into the Kenji, and this ain't good at all. It's Bobby in a 1 versus 3. Looking like an absolute raid boss right now, and is able to punch it as Livy's lights out. Corey needs to back away, hopes to use the jump pad to escape from the El Primo. And you have 2 throwers against El Primo. This is ridiculous.
If style points were a bounty, Bobby would have just won that right there. The little dive in, the punches, and the jump away. That was pretty flashy stuff. He's got an El Primo hypercharge in the back pocket. Corey just popping this for value now. Diving away, throwing in a tick super as Bobby just jumps in. He has nowhere to go. Mind
taking so much damage.
And tries of teams just always seem to find a way to make things interesting.
That is crazy. 80k votes, and it's only a difference of 270. Oh my god. Yes, well, these are both very loved organizations with very rabid fan bases. Speaking of rabid, there's Livy. Might want to get tested. He pushes up heavily on that right-hand side, but Sans is going to be a bit of a nuisance here. Pops the gadget, able to back away, shield off a lot of that damage, goes in with a super, but Livy is still alive here. Tribe, though, down a player. They did lose Tyrant early on. Previously, one of the longest-lived players in this game.
And that's got to be kept in mind for the bounty as well. That's going to go through the duration of the set. It's just left up to Fade and Mr. P here. And it's going to be a powerful Penguin on this top right-hand side. Going to be rather difficult, though. This is not a man that's going to do well into multiple numbers, but he gets the start that he needs. It's down to a 3v1.
I mean, each Porter is, more health than Bobby has. It's like 30,000 health on that Porter. So at some point, STMN is saying, well, we know that Zulan is going to get a couple kills here. Let's just try and beat him 2 versus 1, but hold on, it's a Mr. P off. Oh, goodness. Zulan versus Toast. A lot of porters on the field here. Not so easy for Mr. P to clear in general. So getting a taste of his own medicine now is Toast, who doesn't actually have a porter generation available to him presently, whereas Zulan's is going to keep them coming. Maybe I would have put that in a safer spot, but he already had them being made elsewhere. Zulan wins it out. Hang on. That is like a 1 versus 4.
We've seen 1 versus 3, folks, but this is 1 versus 5 action. Sands getting in the mix here early, looking for value, going for the cuts, slices for a few, but as Livy holds his ground, now he's diving in, looking to get Toast here early. A pop of the gadget, a super, a beautiful dodge there from Sands, and as Livy knows that his death is inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, we can really see a few players now start to show us how to dodge that Kenji super pretty consistently. Zar tried to go all in there, but the damage from Zulan will be too much. Player advantage here for STMN, trying to box all of Tribe in. He's close there, again, still dealing with Porter. Somehow in the current year, he still has that job. Lukey, of course, is up, so the healing available here for STMN, mostly for Bobby, just to stave off all this poke damage he'll be taking.
Fade also has a hypercharge. And these El Primos staying alive this long makes a difference. Sands is also going to be a power player here. It's already an insane brawler in a 3v3 setting. In 5v5, there's so much focus, so much coverage that Super can bring to the table. But Fade knows he has to address it here right now. Lukey diving in as well, dropping all the heals he can to provide a little extra coverage for his teammates.
Tribe a player down now. Losing Zulan earlier on. That pressure keeps coming in from Toast, but Tyron is going to be able to dive on him. Having the grey difference is huge. The dimensional door for the repositioning, very powerful. Faye looking to try and fight Lukey, but he's standing on top of all of his healing. Eventually, though, he will fall. Tribe and STMN now down to 2 players each, but Sands is going to take a lot of gas damage here. He's been cut off at the top of the map and will have to fall. And now it's Bobby versus 2 for the map. Can he keep things alive here? Tyrant, okay, Tyrant. That is interesting. Dives on in there, allows Bobby to ruin him, and Corey's not in a good position here. He needs to get inside the middle of the map. The gas now is going to be a problem. It's all about who has more max health.
In a good spot along with Kenji there. It was 2 tanks going against 2 really squishy brawlers. Obviously, it's a little bit different when they're level 3 apiece and the HP gets bloated a little bit, but I really thought STMN were going to be able to come away with that last round.
Yeah, me too. I was a little bit surprised. Obviously, Zulan sort of dove in on Bobby there and found himself fairly isolated. And no surprise to see the El Primo is like the last one standing here, but yeah, this amount of damage, you know, from the tick hypercharge is pretty terrifying. Bobby has 40k health, but he doesn't. Okay, so he gets hit by the head first, as far as we can tell. I guess Corey, like above
here, you're gonna have to make sure you play a little bit defensive here on Snowman Forest if you want a chance at it. There's some maps where there's 2 gym spawners. On this one, there is 1 focus. 5 brawlers will be competing for 10 gyms. This could be a lightning fast round or a grudge match and just a tick up and down of 2. I could see it really going either way.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we see a huge difference in how this map plays, whether it's a singular gem well or multiple of them here. So each map in gem find quite powerful. We have a mode here for Zulan still, so that is still something that is coveted, that all-in potential onto an enemy gem carrier. But here we go, straight into the middle of the map here. 2 gems spawning, of course, straight off the rip here, and the Kenji and Mortis battle being fought feverishly on the side of the map here. Bobby, yeah, able to win that one out. Takes down Tyrant.
Nicely done, and because of these easy supers, Bobby's already cycling ones in as Livy looking to stay alive here, dashes in, going to avenge a teammate there. But Lukey, meanwhile, in the middle, already has 5 gyms alongside his teammate. Zulan, though, able to burrow his way through rather quickly, and Tribe have retaken control completely.
Yeah, those gems get completely dropped. Zar's able to move in and pick some of them up. He also will be eliminated now, but Bobby is a problem. Hypercharge build up on this left-hand side. Tyron misses the super. Bobby's looking dangerous right now. It's another Kenji super, but still can fight. And this is dirty stuff. STMN able to move up the map now. Getting tons of value, I think, out of those Tara supers over and over again. Zar, a lot of value to be found here. Toast carrying most of the gems right now, but Fade's able to get in and get out. Oh, the gems dropped. Tribe Gaming now, huge lead.
Huge lead, and in large factor due to the strong and fierce Fang super. STMN bringing a full house here, though. The pushback coming in from Tyrant. Hypercharge go.
Bobby.
Make it 2, make it 3. Bobby looking to cycle the bats. 9 gym on Kenji's head. Diving right. A complete takedown. It's enough to grab all the gyms on the ground. Tribe defending and will hold on for dear life, but they need to initiate a new countdown.
They need some map control as well, so they have the safety to weather the countdown in general. Corey, they're going to pop that super. Again, we saw Fade try and go in there. Does get interrupted. Tyrant is in grave danger here, and all those gems get dropped deep in enemy territory. Bobby's going to go in here. This might be a little bit too risky. Yet the Mortis eventually gets brought down, but Zara's there to help out with that Tara super. Tyrant again picks up a couple of those gems. A lot of them, though, have headed onto STMN's side of the map now, though, as there's Livy and Sands are throwing down on the right. Bobby finds another super. Fade looking to go in. A great Fang super to close the gap. Another Tara super thrown down, but Fade's able to stave it off. And again, Tribe, as the smoke starts to clear, have that lead. Tyrant's holding onto a super. That will be so crucial here. Fade needs to hold onto the gems. They've got to get back.
Charge. That got out of hand rather quickly, too. That's a huge turnaround mechanic here, especially in a mode like Gym Grab, where you kind of need those last-second pickups. I think it can make a huge difference. To your point as well, I think it was, yeah, Zulon there at the top, going to be running the Mo. I just think when you got all these flashy supers, it's hard. And speaking of flashy supers, Sands picking up a couple kills here early.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Fade trying to go in with a super of his own on the Fang there, but again, Fang pretty susceptible at getting damaged on his way in. Oh, the Gale is so good. As Livy, even with the gadget, almost able to get something done, but Bobby cycling supers one after another. That is massive. He's able to find like 3 eliminations there, and STMN finally looking good in this series. Tyrant with a super available. Bobby, yep, risky stuff, gets stunned up, but he's happy to be the blunt object here to try and create these pick opportunities. Fade, though, building up a lot of supers himself is always scary, especially with that hypercharge. There's nowhere you can hide from the Fang.
Oh, it's already easier to charge up super. Now a max hypercharge to provide for all of the teammates. It's going to be a huge instrument to get STMN back in the middle here. A dive in at a couple Kenji trades now as Livy goes for yet another super. This time not connecting as much. It will grant access to Tribe Gaming in the mid. Here comes Fade, the tank specialist, moving down the map. It's too easy for him. Zar pops a hypercharge, and it's still not enough. But here comes Bobby, looking to go on another tear here. Down goes one, down goes two. He's looking for a third. Kenji there to help him out as well, and STMN are sweeping away Tribe Gaming.
Fade tried to go in there with the super, but didn't really get the connection. Tried to go for a roundhouse kick for stun. Well, he wasn't quite close enough. Got blown up basically straight away. Bobby doing well, going on the offensive here, just as Tribe are coming hunting for those gems. Toast goes down. Luki's the one carrying them all right now, and the Kenji can't quite get there. Fade dives in. Fade goes in with the super. That's huge, as Livy's able to get in and get away with these gems. 8 to his name. Sands caught out in the open as Livy trying to run. Doesn't even get caught by that Gale super now, and Tribe have the advantage. Zulon able to scoop up the gems once more, but we have a reset on the countdown.
There are STMN brawlers lurking on the back lines, though. They have to be careful. Sands not able to grab this first one. Luki does get one in the top left. Not enough for a reset, though. Tyrant with...
I can't get him.
Doing what he can to move up, but the spins and pins coming out for Tribe.
Control even when you have a countdown started.
I think the supercharge modifier might get some more love after that performance. That was a ton of action. And honestly, we haven't seen Gym Grab as much this weekend. The fans at home have been really keen on the knockout and the brawl ball, which makes sense. They're fun modes. I think this shows why Gym Grab can be a lot of fun, though. It's a high pressure situation, especially on these maps where we see only 10 gyms being spawned. If you don't hold control long enough, the other team can kind of come back and work their way through.